of my life, I'll say yes, yes, yes. I'm coming out, oh my, into my destiny. Oh, till I'm coming out, and for the rest of my life, my answer will be yes, yes, yes. Till I'm coming out, oh my, into my destiny. Oh my, till I'm coming out, and for the rest of my life, it will be yes, yes, yes. Yes to your will. Yes to your way. Yes to your word. You never been I'm coming out. I'm coming out. I'm coming out, y'all. I'm coming out. Coming out my comfort zone. I'm being stretched to a place I never know. God is challenging me. Trust me. If you're coming out, lift your hands and give him praise right now. I said, if you're coming out, lift those hands and bless the name of the Lord. I just wanted to share that song with y'all real quick. That is a song that I listen to on the daily to remind myself that I'm stepping out and away from something that I was comfortable. And I'm stepping into a new position, a higher calling. And that's why I'm here. To remind myself that I'm stepping out. Let me make sure Okay, so I'm getting no echo. Hey, everybody. Drop me a 1 if you guys can hear me before I get started. Drop me a 1. I'm looking for my wrenches. Hold on. I'm looking for my wrenches. I'm going to also assign a couple more because we are definitely getting ready to go into a deeper level. More revelations is coming to me. Y'all, last night, let me just say last night, God had me in tears. I was really in tears because I found something that I believe that was hidden in plain sight. And this is the reason why I say that we need the presence of the Holy Spirit to help us out with this case, because there's so much that's just hidden in plain sight. Okay. I was working on this presentation, and last night it was kind of like God just really gave me what I needed. He gave me a huge revelation, and I'm getting ready to share it with y'all today. I'm gonna take my time with this presentation. If you guys got 2 hours to set aside, we're looking at about 2 hours. Y'all know how long my presentations go. Okay. So I'm going to take my time with this. I'm going to hope that everybody follow along with me. And I'm also going to ask you guys before I start this presentation that you guys completely wipe your mind away from everything that you've known or you thought you've known, okay, pertaining to this case. The Lord even dealt with me last night. I had to get in a position where I just submitted to his understanding and leaned on his understanding and not my own. Okay. You guys know I was coming out the gate with these different perspectives. Okay. I came out the gate saying 2 rooms. I came out the gate saying Irene's live happened last. I came out the gate saying all type of different things, basically really just following, along with all the other theories that was out there and adding to it, if you guys get what I'm saying. But last night, the Lord took me back to the beginning. And what I want to do is I'm going to give you guys a timeline, okay, presentation. I'm going to give you something that I put together, all right? And it's based on the basics, okay? 1 room, 1 party, Okay, and something happened. I'm going to give you a basic, and Kanika, I'm not going to have Kanika all over the place. I'm going to give you a basic, simple theory that you got, that I'm telling you guys is going to connect, is going to make sense. We're not going to have her all over the place. We're not going to it's just going to align together. Okay, and I believe a lot of this stuff was hidden in plain sight. But all we had to do is really take the time to actually to try to decipher this stuff and not really try to consume it all together. If you guys understand what I'm saying, because it was too much to just, do all together. So I'm hoping you guys that I'm on point with this. I believe I am, whenever God stepped into the mix, I believe it's just something that he just won't out. Okay, so you guys, if you guys can hear me good, I'm gonna grab a couple wrenches so I can have some wrenches, because I do believe that the enemy will start showing himself. We just hit 1K subs over here. Praise God, glory to God, yay. Okay, so more people is coming, and we are a spiritual force to be reckoned with. Okay, so I would like to get some wrenches that is spiritual, and when the enemy comes, they know how to shut them down and kick them out. Okay, hashtag it's a distraction. Do not let nobody get you out of your place. That's something I'm working on myself. But I don't want y'all popping off, because if y'all get to popping off, I'm gonna start popping off. So we want to sharpen each other. We want to keep each other humble. We want to keep each other on this path, doing God's will, exposing the truth, exposing the cover-ups, exposing the lies. So I'm gonna get a couple people who before I actually get started, to assign to be my wrenches, just to kind of keep the enemy away and in his place. Okay. Enemy away. Okay. And in his place. I'm gonna have a lot of dragging, y'all, because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. All right, and once I do this, we can go ahead and get started. I am cool with everybody. I just really do not I don't play no disrespect, and I think y'all know that. Y'all should know that by now. I don't play no disrespect whatsoever. If you're a YouTuber, oh Lord. No disrespect. Okay, y'all, just keep these keep the enemy away. Just keep the enemy away so we can get through this with no distractions, okay? Okay. All right, let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. Oh God. All right, let's get it popping. Put my little disclaimer up. Do not mean for this song to play. What the heck am I doing? All right, y'all. Let me know if you guys can see the first slide I just put up, which say timeline of events. Actually, let me go back to the disclaimer. Drop me a 1 if you guys can see the disclaimer, and if you guys can hear me, drop me a 1. If you guys can hear me and you guys see the disclaimer up, drop me a 1 so we can go ahead and get started. Why does this keep popping on? Hold on, y'all. Okay. All right. Okay, let's get it popping. All right, so I have my little disclaimer up. Make sure they see that. And we can go ahead and get it started. Okay, timeline of events. We're going to focus on September the 9th, early morning, September the 9th, which is the 8th going into the 9th. Okay. That's I guess you could say part 2, because remember before I did September the 9th evening, and I really corrected the time sorry, the timeline that was on September the 9th that evening. So we're going to do September the 9th early morning. Okay. If at any time you guys can't hear me, just drop me a 2. Or if I'm echoing or anything, just drop me a 2. I'm looking at the chat room. Or if y'all need me to slow down, okay? All right, so it's starting with what time did Kanika and her crew arrive? And we're going to lead, it's going to be leading up to 3:25 a.m. Okay, which is the time that they said that they caught her walking from the lower level off the elevator. So we're going to go from the time she arrived leading up to 3:25. Okay. All righty. All right. I'm gonna start off with a quick scripture, which is Luke 18. I'm gonna start. Luke 8:16. I'm trying to do each presentation off with a scripture. Okay. And this scripture right here, it says, "No one lights a lamp and hides it in a clay jar." I'm sorry, y'all. I'm kind of nervous. Or puts it under a bed. Instead, they put it on a stand so that those who come in can see the light. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. Therefore, consider carefully how you listen. Whoever has will be given more. Whoever does not have, even what they think they have, will be taken away from them. Okay. All right, you guys. So I'm going to let my light shine. That's right. So I'm going to let my light shine. And understand, you guys, there's nothing that's hidden that will not be revealed to us. Okay. And also understand, listen carefully. Consider how you listen. Although we might think we know so much when it comes to this case, consider how you listen, because even those that think they may know everything, it can be taken away from you. And I mean, you can wake up the next morning completely ignorant to the fact, not knowing anything, feel like you behind in knowledge and wisdom and understanding. So believe me, yes, it will be taken away from him. And he said it in his word. Okay, so let's try to pay attention. Let's try to carefully consider how we listen. Okay, but I'm asking you guys before I start this presentation, just completely wipe your minds. You know, even if you do know what I'm getting ready to show you, okay, fine. I guarantee you it's something in here, if you stick with me to the end, something that you did not see that the Lord himself made manifest, if you stick with me to the very end. Okay. All right. So let's move it forward. Let's move it along. All right. So according to this statement right here, we observed, I'm reading right here in the middle, all right, because we're looking right now the time Kanika Jenkins and her crew walked into the Crown Plaza. All right. So it say we observed Jenkins through the rear entrance of the hotel at 1:13 on 9/9/17. Okay. 1:13. All right. Right here is a statement from Arnisha. Arnisha came to the station volunteering to cooperate. Okay. So Arnisha says right here at the very bottom, the last paragraph, she showed up. She arrived at the party at 23:30 hours on the 8th of September, and Kanika showed up around 1 o'clock. Okay. So I know that we have 2 times for Kanika, but we're going to go with the 1:13. Okay. And I wanted to, like I said, I'm doing everything detailed so nobody will have no confusions, because believe it or not, I did have some people messaging me saying, why do you keep saying that Kanika showed up at 1 o'clock? Kanika clearly showed up at 12, where hopefully this right here, this presentation will put everything into, perspective when it comes to the time set. Okay. Because they did give us 2 different times. Okay. But when I actually looked at the statements and I carefully looked at the footage and I went over everything with a fine-tooth comb. This is what I put together, you guys. Okay. And I'm telling you guys, I might have been wrong about some stuff. Okay. We all might have been wrong about some stuff. All right. But we're going to go ahead with daytime. So we got 1 o'clock from Arnisha. All right. And right here we have the time of them walking in at 1:13. All right. So we're going to say that this time is accurate. All right. We're going to say that this time is accurate. All right. Hold on. I think I kind of skipped a little bit. Okay. So what I want you guys to pay attention to and remember, a lot of things that I might talk to you guys about, you have to be a veteran and y'all have to been and studied this case or seen it, because I don't, I can't actually pull up the footage and show you guys. You have to actually take your minds back to what exactly happened in this moment. Okay. If you guys don't remember, that's fine. Go back and watch this clip right here. Okay. And I might be using a lot of you guys' videos and clips and pictures and stuff. And thank you. I just Google, what I need and I go exactly, straight to the video. So I want to say, big ups to everybody whose stuff I'm using. But anyway, so if you guys can remember, I'm going to bring y'all minds back to this particular clip. Do you guys remember when they got to the end of the hall? And I want you guys to drop me a 1 if you can remember this. When they got to the end of the hall, Monifa and Shamaya and Bree for a second went left. Kanika turned right. A few seconds or minutes later, Bree turned right. Do you guys remember that? Drop me a 1. Now, if I have to pull up a video, I'll pull up a video, but I'm hoping you guys just remember this just by, your months and months of observing these videos. Okay. So in this particular clip, I'm going to take y'all mind back to it. Okay, when they got to the end of the hall, approaching the elevators, I want you guys to take your mind away from whatever you thought before, because I'm getting ready to blow your mind. Do you guys hear me? The Lord had me crying all night last night. I'm serious, y'all. I'm about to blow y'all mind. Okay, when they got to the end of the hall, Kanika turned right and the other 3 girls turned left. But a few seconds later, you said this is a separate clip. A few seconds later, Bree turned to the right. Okay, if this is not the same, it's not the same clip. What do you mean by separate clips? They broke it up separately, or what do you mean by separate clips? I want to get an understanding of what you're saying, because I want to make sure everybody is on one page and everybody remember exactly what was going on during this time. Okay, all right. All right, but let me tell you exactly what happened. It wasn't separate clips. In that moment, Kanika did turn right and the other girls did turn left. Okay, that did happen. And then a couple minutes later, turned right. Okay, Kanika never got on the elevator. Uncle Fed, are you steps ahead of me? Uncle Fed, I think you ahead of me, Uncle Fed. I'm getting ready to prove to y'all that Kanika never got on that elevator. Bam. Kanika never got on the elevator. What I need you guys to pay attention to when you go back and watch this video, I need you guys to go pay attention to the fact that Kenneka went right and the other girls went left. After they went left and they got on the elevator, Bree turned in the same direction as Kenneka. Okay, so right here you see Bree at the front desk. It's 118. They came in at 113, so it would make sense when Bree turned that right. Bree was actually going to the front desk. She was headed to the front desk and not to the room, because just 5 minutes later after coming in, she's at the front desk with Irene. Okay, the time on this is 118. We see her at the front desk with Irene, which I also want to, raise some question too, and just bring up the fact that if you guys remember the statements, I thought Irene and Bree wasn't getting along during that time. They wasn't even really friends during that time. Okay, but anyway, I don't know. They could be having a little sidebar or whatever before the party. I don't know. But here's Bree. Okay, at 118. Where did Kenneka go? We saw Kenneka turn right. Where did Kenneka go? Okay, well, we got a text at 1:20 saying Kenneka was ready to go. All right. Lenora received a text from Kenneka at 1:20 saying she was ready to go, which is odd because they just got there at 1:13. True that? They just got there at 1:13. All right. And here's a piece of Lenora's statement saying the last time she had contact with her sister was at 1:30. And of course she would say 1:30 because she know that her sister pretty much just got to the hotel. Okay, so she's really estimating. I talked to her about 1:30 because she just arrived at the hotel when she texts me. All right. So right here, down at the bottom, the last paragraph, this is something, statement from Lenora. She said, while speaking with Lenora, we gather information from her and friends who were, I guess it's Lenora, with blank, and they said that Jenkins had arrived at the hotel approximately 1:30. Okay, so Lenora had this conception of 1:30 because Kenneka had just got to the hotel. She just arrived at the hotel when her sister texted her and said she was ready to go. All right, which is real strange to me. All right, and so of course I asked myself, why would Kenneka text she was ready to go just 7 minutes after arriving at the hotel? Did Kenneka run into somebody, and if so, who? Right? Did Kenneka run into somebody, and if so, who? Because just 7 minutes after arriving, she texted her sister, said she ready to go. Okay, so we all know that Mike was actually at the hotel prior to Kenneka and her crew arriving. Mike got there at 12:33 per the clock. We look at his statement. He says that he was there at approximately 1 o'clock. Okay, so the 12:33 we'll say is accurate, approximately 1 o'clock. Okay, he got there at 12:33. We're going to go back to his statement. We're just going to look at the times real quick. All right. We also know that Neff was in the room. Okay. Neff showed up at 11 o'clock. Neff is the dude that we see in the red jersey. All throughout Irene's live, we see Neff wearing a red jersey, bouncing or just sitting there chilling. So we know that Neff actually said he was there at 11 o'clock. So Neff was too there when Kenneka and her crew arrived. Okay, so far as when Kenneka arrived, it was guys that was already there. It was Neff, Mike, Killer, Ty, and we have an unknown person who's been flying under the radar. Okay, they and unknown. They were already at the hotel when Kanika, Monifa, Bree, and Shamaya arrived. Okay, and I said it's possible that Kanika ran into or met Mike in the hallway. Now I'm gonna tell you guys why I said it's possible that Kanika met or ran into Mike in the hallway. Okay. Now I'm getting ready to take y'all mind somewhere, but I need you guys to pay attention to this because it's very important. And I want you guys to really understand why I said Kanika never made it on the elevator. Okay, why did not take the elevator? I'm not saying Kanika did not make it to room 629. Oh, sorry, y'all, 926. But what I'm telling you guys is Kanika did not take the elevator to room 926 with her girls. And this is one of the reasons why I want you guys to see and to understand, you know, why they had to. I might be going a little bit too far. Why I believe what I believe. Okay. All right. So notice whenever you see lookalikes, Kanika is missing. The footage with the lookalikes were taken later on and inserted into the footage. Now, let me tell you guys exactly what I mean, okay? Right here, this is not Kanika on this elevator. This had to be taken because the real Kanika never made it on that elevator. So whenever you see the lookalike, that for me was a sign that that person, that Kanika was never in that spot, or she was in that spot for a hot second and they needed more footage or whatever to build on. Okay, this right here is not Kanika. Kanika was never in that elevator. All right, now lookalike on the elevator. Let's start with the lookalike on the elevator. Like I just said, why a snapshot of the lookalike on the elevator? Simply because Kanika did not take the elevator with the girls. She could have took the stairs or rode the elevator with Mike later on, but she did not take the elevator in that moment. I mean, she did not ride the elevator in that moment with the girls. All right, this person right here, this person is the person that rode the elevator. Okay, this is the person that rode the elevator, which is the person that's in the bathroom. Okay, that took that quick bathroom shot with Monifa. Now, I know you guys is probably drifting up. Don't follow me. Trust me. Later on, it's going to make so much sense. Trust me. Follow me. All right. So why do they have a snapshot of this chick right here? And I'm gonna tell you something too. This picture that we looking at, you guys, is this picture was taken, or this snapshot or whatever was taken after Kanika was already in that freezer. If you don't believe me, look at the footage of Kanika walking the halls. Kanika's pockets is not out. They made this picture look like the body that's in the freezer. When Kanika was walking the halls, her pockets was not pulled out. You see what I'm saying? So how is it that in the bathroom way before the party, her pocket is out? She's walking the hall and you see her and her pockets is not out. In the party, you see her pockets is not hanging out, but yet in the freezer, her pockets is. See what I'm saying? They made this picture look exactly like the body that was found in the freezer. This picture, this clipping or snapshot was done after Kanika was already in the freezer. Okay, this person right here is an imposter. Okay, and I believe I called her out as Victoria the last time, if you guys hadn't watched my video of persons of interest. All right, Kanika's missing from the bathroom live, and I'm gonna tell you guys why I believe that they had that when I got that quick clip of that female in the bathroom, because she could have been missing from the bathroom lives. Now I could have actually took the time out to break the clips up and things like that for y'all, but I was really busy and I got so much going on. So, but I want, like I said, just take y'all minds there. Okay. In the lives, in Irene's live, okay. Now I'm gonna take it back. Kanika went to the room with the girls after meeting with Mike. Okay, so Kanika is sitting on the bed. Monifa calls Kanika in the bathroom. If y'all can remember, there's a quick clip, just a clip of Monifa in the bathroom, and she said, "Yo, Kanika, What you doing? Come here. Kanika says, no, I'm not messing with you because you drunk. Monifa laughs it off and she said, Kanika talking about I'm drunk. I ain't no drunk. And she exits the bathroom, ends the laugh. A quick clip, if you guys can remember. So from our understanding, Kanika really never went into that bathroom with Monifa. We never saw her. Besides this picture that we have right here that we know that was taken after the body, we never saw Kanika go into that bathroom with Monifa. As a matter of fact, we actually heard Kanika tell Monifa, I'm not coming into that bathroom. I'm not about to mess with you. You drunk. Okay, now there's a possibility that Kanika did go in the bathroom and they took a real quick, laugh, and it was the one with her laughing. And she said, you so irritating. That could have been true. But this particular picture that we saw, I'm going to prove to y'all later on in another live that picture was actually taken after her body was already in the freezer. Okay. And they actually wanted that look to kind of mimic what they found in the freezer. So, but moving along, I believe Kanika never went in that bathroom with Monifa. I believe she was on the bed, and Kanika actually sounded a little irritated. Okay. She actually sounded a little irritated. All right. So some mental notes. I want you guys to really get this mentally. Kanika arrives at the hotel. It's going to make so much sense. I promise y'all. Kanika arrives at the hotel at 1:13. She ran into someone who she really didn't expect to see. Kanika texts she's ready to go at 1:20 minutes after she got there. Kanika goes into room 926. The girls goes live around 1:30. Okay. Kanika is upset and irritated at this certain someone. All right. Kanika isn't drunk, but is irritated by a drunk Monifa from the beginning of the live to the end. All we hear is really a Kanika who is irritated by a drunk Monifa. Even with her saying towards the end of the live, I'm not drunk. I am enjoying myself. She seemed like she was really irritated. And I also put a note at the end. Everybody said in their statement that Kanika was upset. Now, remember, they used that word upset. They said she was upset about her boyfriend. Now, I believe them saying that she was upset about her boyfriend and with the jail was probably a lie. But I do believe that they said she was upset because she was in that room irritated. Okay. And I believe that she was irritated with a certain someone that she just met up with or just spoke with. She was irritated. And that is what we actually hear in the conversation in Irene's live in the very beginning, those little small clips that we was getting. We was hearing an irritated Kanika. I'm not about to mess with you. You drunk. Girl, I ain't drunk. I am enjoying myself. We was hearing an irritated Kanika. Somebody that really sound like she ain't want to be bothered or even be at the party. Okay, let's get it. Okay, so I put this statement in here. It was a statement by Monifa. Now, we know that Monifa's whole statement was a lie. If you actually read this narrative about Monifa, you know that Monifa was just lying. She was all over. I believe this is Monifa's narrative. She was all over the place. But I only brought this to your attention because I want you to actually see what Monifa said as far as Kanika getting drunk and drinking. Okay. She stated that in that room, they were all just sitting around on the bed, and she stated that she did not drink or smoke any weed, which we know Monifa is lying. We've seen a cup of liquor in her hand, okay? But just listen to how she said this. She remembers that Kanika had 1 cup of alcohol the entire time they were at the party. That should be a period. She remembered that Kanika had 1 cup of alcohol the entire time they were at the party, but she quickly changed it up. But I'm not sure if she refilled that 1 cup or not. Okay, then she started going into how Kanika was sad due to her boyfriend being incarcerated. I don't believe Kanika was sad. I believe Kanika was irritated by somebody that was there at that party that was irritating her. Let's move it along. Okay, so why was Kanika friends pressuring her to drink and not Irene? Irene, it was Irene's birthday. Irene was the birthday girl. Why was they pressuring Kanika to drink, Kanika to enjoy herself, Kanika to get drunk? All we kept hearing throughout the lives is, you know, Kanika gonna be drunk in a minute. Kanika get drunk. Kanika drink. Kanika enjoy yourself. And why wasn't the pressure really on a cool, chilled out 21st birthday having Irene? Okay, so this is what I've studied, and I'm gonna take you guys' mind back to that one girl video that I posted, and I told you I believe 100% in that girl's testimony when the girl was talking about, you know, her friends took her to a hotel room and what they did to her. So I actually looked into this a lot more, and I'm telling you right now, this is what they do for the females that they consider to be lab rats or whatever. This is what they do to them. Okay, this is the plan. The plan, as what I've learned, okay, to give the victim a cup of alcohol and the Red Bull. Encourage the victim to get drunk off the liquor, pop a pill. But what you do is you slip or you mix the lean or the Bill Cosby into the Red Bull without the victim noticing. The pill, if they pop an ecstasy, if they did decide to pop a pill, and the alcohol contributes to the effects of the lean. The victim assumes they tweaking from the pill and the alcohol, when in fact they actually tweaking off of what was put into the Red Bull. Do you guys get what I'm saying? If you guys don't get what I'm saying, drop me a 2 and I'll read that over again. This was something that I actually studied, paying attention to the partying that goes on there and what they've been doing. So it's kind of like, I might be quoting it wrong, but I used to hear my granddaddy say the overplay for the underplay or the overlay for the underplay. I don't know, but they give the victim a cup of alcohol, you know, encourage them to pop a pill, maybe give them a pill. But all along, what they slipping them is inside the Red Bull, because in order to actually mix the lean, it have to be mixed inside a clear liquid. Okay, it's mixed inside of a clear liquid, or Bill Cosby, whatever they call it. Okay, you mix this stuff inside of a clear liquid. So it's kind of like the victim would be thinking that they tweaking off a pill and alcohol, but what they actually tweaking off of is what was put inside the Red Bull. This is common. This is what they do in the neighborhood. And this is how a lot of them get their victims. Okay, if not a Red Bull, some type of clear liquid. Okay. All right, so let's look into the event. Okay, but hold on, let me show you guys this. I think okay. Let's look into the event surrounding 12 a.m. Yeah, the victims can't see what's in a Red Bull can. Exactly, Fred. Exactly. Yeah, they can't see what's in a Red Bull, and they never even suspect that whatever happened to them came from the Red Bull can. You know, if like people actually passed out, or in that one girl situation when she got rushed to the hospital, you know, in her situation, it was actually made manifest for us to actually get what was going on, because she wasn't popping a pill, she was stashing them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the trick is to have, you know, if anything happened, they would assume that they just got too drunk or too high, you know, when all along they were actually poisoned in a can of Red Bull. Okay. All right. So let's look at these. It's some important events surrounding 2 a.m. that I want us to take a look at. All right. Irene is ending her life at 2 o'clock, between 2 o'clock and 2:15. Ty Rowland and females are walking into the Crown Plaza at 2 o'clock, a quarter to 2. Mike and Bree are headed out at 2:25. Kanika goes missing the first time out the room, approximately 2:45. Stay with me. I'm about to show y'all something. Okay, so right here, we see Ty and them coming in. Okay, at 12:46. It says 12:46. We about to get the accurate time of what time they actually walked in. Okay. All right, so down here, the last part of the statement, it said, blank further stated the group, which we all know, Ty arrived in the group. He had his sister in a black Mercury SUV. You know, they was following them in a truck. But he said the group arrived at the Crown Plaza at approximately 2 o'clock. All right, so it wasn't 12:46. It was actually 1:46 that they arrived. Uh-oh. Hold on. And I got a bonus for y'all too. All right. So Ty and his crew actually arrived at 1:46, not 12:46. They arrived at almost 2 o'clock. Okay, and there was another statement too. I forgot to insert in there where the one female said it was the 1:55. She know because of the time they pulled up, which had to be a lie because the parking ticket couldn't say 1:55 if they walking in the door at 1:46. Okay, see how much them kids be lying. I just wanted to point that out. But anyway, they showed up at 1:46, almost 2 o'clock. Now remember, we're looking at the events surrounding 2 o'clock. All right. All right. So maybe the plan was for Ty to arrive after 2 a.m. after Irene ends her live, but they showed up early. Okay, made a pit stop into a conference room. If Ty and the girls would have walked straight to the room, then we would have seen or heard them in Irene's live, because Irene did not end her live until after 2 o'clock. Okay, it's in Mike's statement. It's in maybe Bree's statement. Irene did not end her live until after 2 o'clock. So with Ty and them walking in at 1:46, and actually it was after 2 o'clock when Irene ended her live. It was like around 2:15. So if Ty walked in at 1:46 and the girls, we would have actually heard him or seen him come in the door at the end of Irene's live, right? So they had to make a pit stop. They had to go somewhere because maybe they came in they arrived a little bit too early. The plan was to arrive after 2 a.m. Okay, after Irene goes live. But they showed up a little bit early, so they made a little pit stop. All right, they made a little pit stop. Employees lounge, conference room, I don't know. They made a little pit stop until it was their time to go. All right, because everything that they do is synchronized. And I told you guys that they a gang and they move together. They move like a military. Okay, so Ty and them are supposed to arrive at the hotel at 2 o'clock. Because if you look at the statements from all the people that showed up with them, everybody said around 2 o'clock. Everybody said 2 o'clock specifically, at 2 o'clock, around 2 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock. It was 2 o'clock. Everybody said 2 o'clock, but we actually see that they showed up early. They showed up early. So they made a little pit stop. All right. Bree, we see her right here at approximately, I say 150. And, you know, just approximately around 150, because like I said, they ended the live around between 2 to 2:15. Right here, just before 2 a.m. is 1:54. You see she left. Right after Bree showed herself on the live, Monifa took the phone, and a couple minutes the live was over. Okay, that's why I said around 1:50 they was ending that live. Well, Bree was getting off the live and handing the phone to Monifa, because at 1:54 she's right here in the hall. All right, and right here, Bree states, we all know, we all done seen this before. I just wanted to point it out. Bree states that she left the party around 2:15. Okay, or 2:30, she said, either 2:15 or 2:30. She said that she was riding with a friend who needed a GPS. So, of course, before I thought that she was actually driving, no, she was riding with a friend who needed her phone. Okay, and Mike was not technically with them. Okay, he was leaving around the same time as them, so he must have saw them walking, caught up, or they caught up together. But he was leaving out around the same time as him because, according to Mike, the party was dead. So he was already headed out anyway. Okay. Just want to clarify that. So right here, we see all three of them leaving at 2:26. Did they leave together? We don't know. As of right now, we don't know, because Mike stated he left because the party was weak. Tyrone and them hadn't even made that. They still in that conference room. This should prove to y'all that Tyrone and them was somewhere waiting, because Mike wouldn't have said the party was weak, because Tyrone and them brought like the party with him. He brought half the party with him. So the reason why Mike said at 2:20 that the party was weak was because Tyrone and them hadn't even showed up in the room yet. They was in some conference room chilling, waiting until it was time for them to walk up there or go into the room. Okay, so when Mike left, Mike hadn't even ran into Tyrone. I'm gonna show y'all right here. They leaving out at 2:26. They coming into the room at 2:27. Where they coming from? Where was they coming from? Out that room, maybe? Straight to the party. Straight to the party. All right. And behind them was Tyrone. Tyrone goes live around 2:30. Okay. Tyrone goes live around 2:30. He sees Kanika. Yes, exactly. The smallest details matter. Okay, because we see Mike, I'm gonna go back a little bit. We see Mike said the party was dead, it was weak, and he wanted to leave. And that could be because half the party was in the employee lounge room. Are y'all following me? Because we saw Ty and them walk in at 1:46, so they would have already been in the room at 2:00. Mike wouldn't have had to say the party was weak and he left. Do you guys get what I'm saying? He left because he said the party was weak, right? That's because Ty and them was in some employee lounge just chilling until they decided it was time for them to go ahead, head up to the room, and began recording. Let's get it. All right, so where was I at? All right, so right here, like I said, I believe this is the only time he actually got Kanika, that he actually got a clip of Kanika. I believe this is the only time Tyrone actually got a clip of Kanika, when he first got to the hotel. Okay, when he first began to go live. All right, I want y'all to kind of get y'all mind out of what y'all already know, because it's a picture that's being painted right here, and certain things that y'all might be looking at might not be a part of this particular picture right here. It might be something else going on over there. You see what I'm saying? And it's a big picture. I can't paint the whole picture, but I can show you guys where Kanika was at during this particular time. We can follow Kanika. But we can follow Kanika. I can tell you guys what time Kanika left this room. Just follow along with me, okay? Whatever. It's a lot of stuff that was going on, but just follow with me, okay? All right. Someone spiked Kanika's Red Bull. Who could have spiked Kanika's drink and when? All right. I say anyone that was in that room prior to 2 a.m. could have spiked Kanika's Red Bull. Mike or Bree prior to leaving could have spiked Kanika's Red Bull, along with Ty, Roland, or Tanisha. Anybody that was in that room prior to her disappearing could have spiked her Red Bull. Like I said, it could have been even Mike or Bree, and that's why they bounced so quick as they did. Anybody that was with her could have spiked that Red Bull, So, and the reason why I want to outline is for you guys, because our mind is just set on Tanisha spike that Red Bull. Anybody could have done that. Okay, anybody could have done that prior to 2 a.m. when it was just them in the kickback and just chilling. When it was her and Mike alone, maybe talking along that hallway, he could have, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody could have done it. Anybody could have done it. Okay. Now we had a lot of statements of people that was saying that Kanika was up, she was dancing for a minute, and she was sitting back down, she was wasted, she was drunk. Irene's statement saying that Kanika was saying, "Girl, get up, it's your birthday." Was Kanika possibly feeling the effects of whatever was put in her Red Bull? Okay, was this necessarily not a lie? But they just tried to make it seem like she was actually having fun versus wasted. Okay, this is kind of big, you guys, but as we can see, this is right here. This is a can that's in Kanika's hand. Okay, look like her can of Red Bull. All right, I just want to show you guys right here clippings of Kanika in the room. Don't look, we never really seen her dancing, gigging, enjoying herself. We never seen that. But what we did see was what it looked like she had a towel or something over her mouth. So I'm wondering, because before I thought that maybe she was in a fight, but I'm wondering if she was actually wasted and hurt herself. Because if you can remember, Irene said that she's supposed to hit the lap, or she either hit a lap or hit the desk or something like that. So I'm really wondering, was it a short time when that Red Bull kicked in that Kanika was wasted? Are you guys following me? Okay, someone comes to the door while Ty is live. All right, Kanika responds to the knock. It now, and I do know that Kanika has like a slurish type of voice, but it do sound like an inebriated Kanika when she says, "That's not the manager at the door." Okay, there is a lookalike in that room with her, but I believe that Kanika is drugged at that moment and possibly don't even realize it's a lookalike in the room with her. Okay, but we hear her say, "That's not the manager at the door." Okay, in that moment, Kanika gets snatched up out the room after the knock at the door, which was approximately 2:45. Remember, Ty went live at 2:30. Okay, around approximately 2:45 is when Kanika gets snatched up out the room. Kanika is inebriated when taken out the room. Okay, the last time her friends seen her was 2-something per Irene, and not just per Irene, per her friends. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. Okay, so here we go. We see Kanika right here. It's around, like I said, 2:45. Ty is live. In the background, we can see somebody knocked on the door. Kanika went to go answer the door, and Kanika said, "Oh, that's not the manager at the door." Okay, I believe Kanika in that moment was inebriated. Somebody snatched Kanika out the room, and this is the reason why everybody is looking and facing the door. As I said, there was a lookalike even in the room with Kanika at that moment, who I believe is the same girl that had on that pink jacket and that pink hat that came with Ty Rowland. But anyway, it was a lookalike in that room with Kanika, and she probably didn't even realize it because she was drugged. All right. Kanika goes missing while Ty is lying. These is text messages from Irene saying the last time they seen Kanika was at 2-something. Take your mind away from the narratives that say 3 o'clock. Kanika went missing twice. And I'm going to show you guys that and prove to you guys Kanika went missing twice. Okay. The last time Irene seen her, she swore up and down in her text messages. She said, "I don't know where that girl went. The last time we seen that girl, it was 2-something last night." Okay, it's in her text messages. Right here, she say, "I swear to God, around 2-something in regards to what time Kanika left the room." All right, I swear to God, it was around 2-something. All right. That was the last time Irene recalls seeing Kanika. All right, and here we go. Right here, we have a statement from Lenora saying that, let me read right here, right in the middle. It says blank, which I believe is Lenora, said Jenkins did not have her phone because she left it in the hotel room. Blank advised her friends last saw Jenkins in the hallway on the 9th floor around 2:30. Pay attention to words. The friends told Lenora the last time we seen Kanika on the 9th floor was around 2:30. Pay attention to the words, to the wording. Okay, that was the last time they actually seen her on that floor. It was around 2:30. And I showed you guys at 2:45 in Ty's live, she was snatched up on the 9th floor. She disappeared. She went missing. Right? That's what I showed you guys. So that would actually make sense as to why the girls say it was 2 something around 2:30, because in Ty's live, it had to be around 2:45 when we actually see Kanika getting snatched up, disappearing, missing. Okay, so their statement would actually line up with what we see happening in Ty's live. All right. All right. The mystery man or men and a 40-minute gap. Who took Kanika out of room 926 at approximately 2:45? Where was Kanika from 2:45 to 3:25? 3:25, the time that she was first seen exiting the lower level elevator. That's a 40-minute gap. Let's get it. Who is the mystery man or men that snatched her up out that room around 2 something when the last time her friend seen her? Now, if you guys still believe in the whole Monifa lie, we was leaving and we went to go get her phone and we let that, y'all shouldn't even be on my channel. I'm serious. Like, that is the most stupidest, ridiculous lie I've heard in my life. Y'all should not even be here if you still believe that lie, because you all should know that it do not take 2 people to go run and get a phone. It is not even natural. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even ordinary. Ordinarily, one person will go run and go get their phone and the other ones will remain. It's not even ordinary that happens like that. So if you guys still believe that, I'm telling you right now, you would never understand exactly what the hell went on. For real, for real. All right. So who took Kanika out that room at 2:45? We seen them all looking back. Everybody was looking back, shocked. What's going on? Okay, and it's a gap of her missing from 2:25 to 2:45 to 3:25, a 40-minute gap. All right, let's move it along. At 1:53, because remember, we still looking at the events around 2 o'clock. It says at 1:53 right here, but according to Cocky, it was not 1:53, it was 2:53. So this time right here is set back an hour. Okay, so they didn't actually arrive to the hotel until 2:53. And I remember actually doing a video about these guys before and claiming that they were in another room. I thought after I did that video, I thought that I probably was off. And I prayed and I'm like, Lord, should I just remove the whole video altogether? And he said, no, don't remove it. When I tell you all things work for the good of those who love the Lord and is called according to his plan, I didn't remove it because I knew that all things was going to work together. And it's working. It's working right now as we speak. Anyway, so these guys came in at 2:53, not 1:53. I had the time off. Okay, all right. But remember, where was Kanika from 2:45 to 3:25? Let's get it. All right, so according to Cocky say that video that was made around 1-2 in the morning, he talked about the Irene video. All right, just throw it out the window. Throw the video out the window. The video that and I stopped right there and I said, Lord, are you sure I should throw this video out the window? Because I've accused, of so much of going on in that room. And the Lord said, lean not on your own understanding. So I'm going to take Cocky's advice for a minute. Just throw that video out the window. Ain't nothing happening in that room. Just throw that video out the window. Cocky say we didn't make it to the hotel until 3 a.m. and Kanika was in the room drinking, kicking it, and having a good time. Really? Well, according to her friends, that told her sister that they didn't see Kenneka until 2:30, that Kenneka left at 2:30. According to Irene, she swear to God, the last time she seen Kenneka was 2-something. So how the hell is it that Cocky and his crew get to the hotel around 3 o'clock and they see Kenneka in a room just enjoying herself and having a good old time? How is that when we know that Kenneka got snatched up out the room around 2:45? Can I, Cocky, tell the truth or shame the devil? How is it that you went in the room at 3 o'clock and saw Kenneka in there just jamming, dancing, having a good old time when we know she was snatched up around 2:45? Yep, he's based on a witness statements, more witness statements. Kenneka then went up to room 926 for a hotel party, and she left the room after 3 o'clock. She never went nowhere else. She went to the room 926 for a party, and she left out that room after 3 o'clock. Well, according to her friends, according to Irene, because the friends actually told the family this. The friends told Lenora this, told the family this. The last time we seen her was at 2:30. And remember, Teresa said she got that call 2 hours later, which was 4:30, 4:34. Remember, right? Makes sense. Exactly. So how is it, Cocky, and whoever these based on witness statements, because it's not saying that this is what they evaluated, this is what they came to determine. No, it's saying that based on witness statements, Kenneka left the room after 3 o'clock. So based on some of Cocky and some of his friends, she left the room after 3 o'clock. Well, my question for y'all is, what room was that? Surely it wasn't 926. Kenneka was taken to another room on a different floor, possibly room 926, like I said 3 weeks ago. Kenneka was there for approximately 40 minutes before she went missing a second time. Are y'all with me? God almost blew my mind last night, y'all. God almost blew my mind last night. I'm telling y'all, we got some stuff. We about to unravel some stuff. Follow me. We about to unravel some stuff. If y'all with me. So what room did Cocky see Kenneka in after 3 o'clock? What room did some of them witnesses see Kenneka in after 3 o'clock? Because her girls didn't even know where the hell she was at, so they say after 2:30. So what room, again, did Cocky and his friends see Kenneka in after 3 o'clock? Was it y'all room? Did you see her in your room after 3 o'clock? Was she in the room with y'all after 3 o'clock? Actually, was she in the room with y'all after 2:45? Because the girl said it was 2-something. Her girls told her family it was 2-something. We see her being snatched out the room at 2-something. So how is that she appeared in a room that Cocky seen her in? Come on, let's make this shit make sense. Y'all know what I'm about. Let's make it make sense. I don't know anything about no 11th floor. I don't have any type of only reason, and I don't even know, it could be the 11th floor. I'm telling y'all, only thing I know is that Kenneka was in another room for about 40 minutes. The reason why we even been resting on 609 is because really Peasy said a room number out his mouth. Is it 609? We don't know. You right, Melissa. This could be the 11th floor. This could be the whole reason why they took the mom to the 11th floor, because Kenneka was in another room on a different floor for approximately 40 minutes before she went missing a second time. I'm gonna tell y'all how she went missing a second time. I'm getting to that. But you're right. Melissa, it could be the 11th floor. The reason why we say possibly room 609 is because Peasy, in that interview with Zach, he mentioned room 609 more than once. So that room number have always stuck out to us. Okay, but don't let that room number, I'm not really saying for sure, but just kind of, get the understanding that she actually disappeared in Ty's life, like we've been saying and preaching for months. I'm actually showing you guys the picture of it and putting the times with it. Okay, she disappeared around 2 something. All right, but she was taken to a different room, as we've been saying all along. All right. So meanwhile, in room 926, okay, Kanika is in a different room. Meanwhile, the next few slides are events happening in room 926 while Kanika is quote unquote missing and on her way to be put into the freezer. I should have just said on her way to the freezer. I don't know if they put her in there or what at this point right here. But I should have just said on her way to the freezer. But the next few slides is actually, it's like a meanwhile, while she's in this room, this is what's happening in room 926. Ty's communicating with somebody on live, showing off lookalike number 1. Y'all know I call lookalike number 1 not a body. Okay? He's on live. He's in the room. We got 3 of them. Chief. He's communicating on live. And I only showed y'all this picture right here because some of y'all still feel like not a body. It was Kanika. Not a body was not Kanika. Not a body was a lookalike. Maybe they did a lot of what you guys see is skits. Okay, so maybe they did the whole skit with her drinking and dropping something so they can make you guys think that it was a Kanika that was at the hotel party turning up or whatever the case may be. But clearly the jacket does not match. Okay, and I showed you guys before when I did a whole presentation on her that she don't actually have on a crop top jacket. Like her jacket actually comes to her waist. It doesn't, and Kanika had on a crop jacket, so it was cut much shorter. I showed you guys the stitching in the back, how it was different. So Ty's communicating. Okay, meanwhile, in 926, Kanika is not in the room. Ty's communicating. Here's not a body, lookalike number 1. And I just wanted to show y'all when Ty says all three of them are here, lookalikes 2 and 3, which I call forehead and shoulders. Okay. My casa, su casa. Is a whole house. Meanwhile, while Kanika is in room 609, they bouncing. My husband is a whole house. They acting. They acting. They faking it for the cameras. Meanwhile, while Kanika is in room 609, I'm putting this shit together for y'all. Please pay attention. They playing this shit off. They acting all this shit out. Playing this shit off. Meanwhile, this baby is in room 609, possibly get anything, God knows what done to her. If y'all follow me. Kanika is in another room for 40 minutes. Was Kanika in another room, possibly being raped, assaulted, God knows what else, for about 40 minutes, and then put out that room when they was finished with her? Did an inebriated Kanika accidentally go down to the lower level thinking she was escaping to the lobby? Or trying to find her way back to room 926? Was there someone or others following Kanika? Let's go to slide 89 real quick before I show y'all what I'm about to show y'all. Oh, dang. I forgot I just injected a different slide. Dang, it ain't even 89. I gotta find it now. Okay, I gotta find it now because I forgot I had interjected some more slides in here, so it's not where I actually placed it at. It would be somewhere else. Let's see. Now let me show you guys this real quick. We about to get to the meat and potatoes. For real. And inebriated Kanika was snatched up out that room at 2:45, you guys, and taken to another room. Okay. I'm getting ready. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so right here. Okay, right here is talking about the video surveillance that showed Kanika entering the hotel or whatever. Let's talk about the video surveillance. Okay, so guys, look right at the bottom. It says this is talking about the first time they actually see Kanika. They said based on witness statements, they can only based on witness statements. I just showed you guys that they said Kanika didn't leave out the room till after 3:00. Okay, we already know that's based on a few witness statements because other witness said she left out at 2:30, around 2 something. Okay. Kanika is observed. I want y'all to pay attention to this. Kanika is observed on video surveillance exiting an elevator on the lower level at approximately 3:25. Okay. Kanika is seen by herself as she exited the elevator. So the first thing they tells us is Kanika is seen exiting the elevator on a lower level around 3:25. Well, y'all, we know that Kanika actually left that room on the 9th floor around 2:45. Okay, so even if so, where was she at during that time? Because they say they see her exit off the elevator at 3:25. Where was she at then? Even if she left out the room after 3:00. Let me show y'all something. Okay, let me show y'all something. I'm trying to explain this to y'all the best way I can. For some reason, they did not tell us the first time they caught Kanika on camera and where she was at and what floor she was on. They did not tell us this. And it messed me up last night when I saw it for myself. Do y'all remember this picture right here? I'm about to show you guys where Kanika was at. Right here is 2:24. If you guys can remember on this footage, there is a man standing at the end of the hallway watching Kanika walk away. Do you guys remember that? This clip was actually before she got onto the elevators. Kanika did not get on the elevators from the 9th floor. She got on the elevators from this floor, from whatever the dude's floor they had around, either room 609 or 6th floor or from the 11th floor. This is the floor that she was on prior to her getting on the elevator. And for some reason, in a statement, they said the first time they spotted her was on the elevator, but they didn't mention on the fucking floor. And what about the dude that's sitting there staring at her? This is the fucking room I believe that Kanika left out of. I just asked you guys, is it possible that the guys had her in a room doing all kind of shit to her and put her out the room? If you guys can remember, the guy is right there at the end watching her walk away. Is that the room that she was coming out of? Is that the room that she was coming out of? Is this the fucking 11th or 6th floor? I don't know, Black Jew. I was screenshotting some stuff and stealing people screenshotting from people videos and stuff like that, so it could just be from my screenshots and stuff. But if y'all can remember the image of the guy, he's at the end of the hallway watching her, and she's walking in a direction as if she's coming from him. God showed me this last night, y'all, and it blew my mind, because I remember in the very beginning of this case watching this man and thinking like, he moving. You know, that is the man. Oh my God, he watching her. The room that Kenneka came out of. This was the first time Kenneka was spotted on camera prior, and I don't care how they have it mixed in the footage. This was the first time Kenneka was spotted on camera at 3:24 prior to her getting on that elevator. She was leaving the nigga's room. She was leaving that nigga's room, y'all. I cried last night when I seen this, and I know it wasn't nothing but God. I know it wasn't nothing but God that showed me this. I know it wasn't nothing but God, and I don't care what nobody say. She was leaving that nigga room, or them niggas' room. And that nigga was standing there watching her walk away, probably trying to see which direction she was going to go in. And I'm about to prove to y'all he had somebody following her. I told y'all, I'm going to make this shit make sense. I'll be up all night crying and praying about this girl. I'm going to make this shit make sense, period. Them niggas took her to that room, did whatever the hell they wanted to do to her, and they put her out the fucking room. This is when you see her walking out on this floor right here, she leaving that nigga room. I've been over here, y'all. If my husband have to tell y'all how I be over here because of Kenneka, he would have to tell y'all how I can't even watch a whole movie with my husband because my man is drifting off. This shit was right in our face all alone. Them niggas put her out that room. I'm telling y'all, all this shit gonna make sense. It's all gonna add up. And if y'all don't believe me, I don't care, because I'm building a case against each one of them niggas anyway. Nigga right down there watching her. He watching her walk away. He watching her walk away. That's the room she came out of, y'all. That's the room she came out of, y'all. Man, I've been up all night, like, y'all just don't know, man. Y'all just don't know. I don't know why I'm so connected to this girl. I don't know why I love her so much. I don't know why I love this girl so much and why I want her truth out, even if that means sacrificing my own life. I swear to God, y'all, I was up all night. I could not wait to bring this to y'all. I could not wait to talk to y'all. I couldn't wait. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I had to play that gospel music. That's why I had to bring a scripture. That's why I had to pray over myself for like an hour before I started broadcasting. Like, this was huge for me because it's hidden in plain sight. Imagine how much stuff is hidden in plain sight. Okay. And they followed her. Dude that was watching her walk away, I don't know if he was watching her walk away, you know, to see if she was, you know, where she was gonna go, you know, or what, but he had somebody to follow her. Now this is around 3:25. This is what they saying in the statement, how we observed her on surveillance at 3:25, but they didn't tell us about where she was coming from. Bastards. They didn't tell us about where she was, the room she was coming from. They try to leave that shit out. And it could be the reason why they cutting times and times is jumping and shit. Oh God. Right here, you see the dude following her. This that same dude that was in Taz's lab. He was scrunched down on the floor like he did not, like his whole plan was to not be seen. We was not supposed to see him in Taz's lab because all along he portraying to be somebody else or like a fucking ghost in here. So we wasn't really supposed to see him in Taz's lab. So he eased in the lab until it was his time, and then he eased his ass back out the lab, and then he went into room wherever they was at, 609, whatever room they was at, and he was in that room with Kenneka, and now he following her per orders. He following her, and you see him right there. That's that goody bag. I don't know his name. I can get it for y'all if you want it, but I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna have it. Trust and believe that. But he's a vice lord. Don't let him fool you. I got a picture of his ass too right here when we caught him walking in. The only difference is in the elevator, he had his hood on. They blurred out his damn face. That's the same dude that was scrunched down in Taz's lab. He's a damn vice lord, and he was following her from that floor that she was on with them guys down to the lower level. This nigga was following. Here's one of them. We see her right here, and we all know that somebody was watching her, following her. I don't know if they was guiding her, leading her. The Father have not made that clear to me yet. And I told you guys that I think that God is just going to do things into like segments. So I don't know if these guys' intentions was to lead her into the freeze or lead her outside, or if they was actually trying to see where she was going to go, or if they was, trying to, make sure she didn't go to, I don't know, but these niggas was following her. We saw one on the side in all black, okay, with a black hoodie on. And if you guys can remember, he actually had on like some black jean pants. It wasn't jogging pants, but it was like a black hoodie and like some dark jean pants. If you guys can remember, a part of the guys that walked in with this crew right here, with the Jenkins City crew, two of them had on black hoodies. And one of them had on the black pants with the little distressed look. I believe that's Wayne. I might not have it all together, but you best believe I'm working on it. You best believe I'm working on it. I believe that's Wayne, maybe. But yeah, one of them had on the black pants with the dark jeans, the dark distressed looking jeans. And another one had on a whole complete black hoodie. Okay, I'm just saying, we just seen niggas down there off to the side with all black on. Could it have been they followed her after they got done doing whatever they was doing to her to see where Kenneka was going? Or to take, I don't know. But I just want to point that out. The fact that two of these guys had on all black. Okay, so we know she walks to the upper kitchen. And we know that somebody else was following her even through the kitchen area. We know that somebody was following her even through the kitchen area. Smacks was in that room with them guys, I believe. He came in with them. So, I mean, we really don't know who was all in that room for sure. But he was with that crew. He was with that crew. All right. So according to, because I went back and I watched the unedited footage, and and I just listened carefully because John had pointed this out a while back, like, watch Miranda's video, just listen real carefully, listen to the things she said. And I remember in watching this unedited clip, she was pointing out, oh my God, that's a bee down there with a ponytail. That's a bee with a ponytail. You know, so I asked myself, or I asked the Lord as I was, working on this presentation, was Bree Bree down in that kitchen with them? I don't know who's all down there with her and leading her down there. I don't know. I even believe it's a huge possibility that Mike and Bree Bree never left. If they just actually left out the room and came in through the back. I mean, out the hotel and came in through the back. They actually never left. You see what I'm saying? So that right now, I don't know for sure. Like, I don't have receipts on that. But I can tell you that it's a possibility that Bree Bree was in that kitchen with them. It's a possibility that she was. And the only reason why I'm going to say that is because Bree Bree got back. She stated she got back around 3:00. Okay, or around 3:10, right? Upon returning, she asks for Smacks. Is Smacks there? Okay, so we know that returning, Bree Bree was looking for Kanika and Smacks. So it's not far-fetched to believe that she came at the hotel at 3:00, went looking for Kanika and Smacks, or already knew what room that they was going to have her in according to the plan, because she was looking for both Kanika and Smacks. You see what I'm saying? So it's not far-fetched to believe that Bree Bree went to that room or was led to that room to find Smacks and to find Kanika. Okay, and that's the reason why we see her in the kitchen at 3:37. Is it 3:37? Okay, and that's the reason why we see her in the kitchen. So it's not far-fetched to believe that she was probably down in that kitchen with them. Okay, if Kanika walked off in that room after they put her out, Kanika walks off in that room. It's not, see, I really can't say if Bree Bree went looking for her, if they told her like your girl walked off, she went that way. So I really don't know. So I'm not going to just try to, paint a picture, and I really don't know. But what I'm saying is it's not far-fetched to believe that Bree Bree was probably down in that kitchen with her, because Bree Bree went looking when she got back for Smacks and Kanika. And if anybody knew where Smacks and Kanika was at, she would have went straight to them. Okay, so yeah, she could have been down in that kitchen. They could have told her what was going on, where Kanika was at. She could have been in that kitchen with him. I just wanted to point that out. Right here, I want to take a look at Smack's statement real quick. Not Smack's, Cocky statement real quick. Okay. What I want you guys to look at is at the bottom, this last paragraph. Okay. According to Cocky, they departed the hotel between the hours of 4 and 4:30. Okay, from what he can recall. I was intoxicated, so my time might be off. Of course, because time, it matters. Okay, especially when they messing with the time and they altering the time. So, according to him, it was around 4:00 and 4:30 when he left, but his time might be off. Well, we actually see him leaving at 3:55, which is 4:00. So, okay, his time wasn't really off. He left, let's say, around 4:00, almost 4:00. Okay, but this is the part that really kills me about Cocky's statement. At the bottom, he says, the group proceeded back to the area. They went back to Noyum to chill some more. He advised that he didn't know Kanika was missing into the next morning from friends and such. What I don't understand is, how is it that he didn't know, or he didn't have no recollection that Kanika was missing? And he didn't leave the hotel until 4:00. How is it that he wouldn't know that Kanika was missing? Okay, when you look at this statement, it said they began searching for Kanika at approximately 3:30. They stated she was walking around, such and such was walking around You know, we know a lot of that is a lie, but I'm gonna skip on down. They say they called Kanika's mother at approximately 4 o'clock, which we know was after 4:30 or whatever the case may be, to see if Kanika was home. Okay, so according to this person right here, they began searching for Kanika around 3:30. All right, they began looking for her around 3:30. According to this person right here, he stated that they came in approximately 2 and 3 times. He said, talking about Monifa and Shamaya, they came in approximately 2 or 3 times. He stated the last time they came in was between 3:30 and 4:30. So again, around 3:30, they coming in looking for Kanika. But this person actually said around 3:30, they had already looked for her twice, came in looking for her twice around 3:30. Okay, this person even said that hotel security came to the room and helped him with the situation between 3:30 and 4:30. But we had two statements that said around 3:30 is when they began looking for Kanika, or was during the time when they was looking for Kanika. So if Kaki is in the room with these people, if Kaki is in the same room with them, how is it that he don't know that they looking for Kanika? Which I believe it was a lie altogether, but I'm just pointing it out to those who believe that Kaki was in the same room. If you believe that Kaki was in the same room with them, then Kaki should have known that Kanika was missing at 4 o'clock, right? This is only for those that do not believe that Kaki and his crew was in a separate room. If you believe that Kaki and his crew was in the same room, in room 926, all that time, then how in the hell did Kaki not know before he left that Kanika was missing? How could anybody leave knowing that a girl is missing and had been missing for the last 20, 30 minutes? Because according to them, the last time they seen it was 3 o'clock. So for you guys who don't believe what I'm saying, Kaki have to be lying. He's a damn lie. Or he wasn't in that room at all, like I said. And so as far as them knocking at the door and what times they was looking for Kanika, he wouldn't have known because he wasn't in the room. All right. All right. The end of that. Point out those last statements to you guys. So you guys can that I want to show y'all what I'm working on right now, because it really is just some notes that I'm taking. All right, I just wanted to show you guys that them statements real quick. So I want you guys to understand that Kaki and the guys was not in that room. And yes, we would have seen them during Ty's live, because remember, Ty live started around 2:30, or it could have ended a little bit early, but I still think it was stretched out for some time, because they were actually recording clips, you know, them jumping out of bed, and you know, clips of such and such in the hallway. I mean, just clips of shit, you know. So but Kaki and them guys was not in room 926. Okay. I think I actually proved that before. And I think right now everything just pretty much connected. Okay, everything just pretty much connected. I am going to do a live later on today. I didn't want to put the two lives together, but I'm gonna do a live later on today where I'm going to bring everybody the fasting schedule, because I do have the schedule, the times, and everything that we're going to do as far as our universal fast. But that's going to last. So I'll come back on maybe in about an hour or so to bring you guys the fasting schedule. Okay, I wanted to do this and get this live out the way so you guys can actually see that God is not playing. He is revealing and he is exposing. And for me, it's a pleasure to be on the good side, on his side, and being used by him. But I'm telling y'all, it's scary, the stuff that we're seeing, the stuff that we're dealing with, you know, and it's no joke, you know. And I just want y'all to know that I am in it. I am in this thing to really find out what happened to Kenneka and to bring this baby justice. Nothing more and nothing less. I do want to apologize for those that I offend along the way. I do want to apologize for that. Please forgive me, those who have offended me. It's not about us personally, you know. It's about us really trying to come together and bring justice where there's no justice and bring light to where there's darkness. And I hope because of that, you know, you guys would align yourselves with me. I lost a lot of subscribers, and it's not really about subscribers. It's really about family and friends and the things that I'm trying to build over here. I lost it, you know, I'm speaking on Teresa. But what I want people to understand is I will always come straight forward and just be upright and honest, or at least to what I believe is, you know, me being honest and me being true. I can't come to y'all no other way. You know, I can't. If I see just not adding up or it's just not right, I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna speak on it. That was the vow that I made for myself from day one, and to those who's been loyal to me from day one. And I told y'all from day one, if it's some stuff that we don't even want to hear, that we don't like, that we don't want to see or whatever, I still gonna come to y'all real, period. And we're gonna deal with it together as a family. We just gonna deal with it. Okay, so I appreciate those who don't hold that against me and understanding that I'm still growing. Okay, I appreciate y'all for that. And I love y'all for that. I'm gonna answer some of these questions in the chat. I didn't really get a chance to like see what you guys were saying in the chat room. I'll go back and watch the video and read the chat. I'm sorry. So if I wasn't responding to y'all or answering no questions, I'm sorry, because I couldn't read the chat and plus do the work at the same time. So I'm gonna look at this chat real quick and holler at some of y'all before I get off. All right. Who wanted her dead most? Summer, I really don't know yet. I don't know yet. I think this is a situation where many conspired together against her, you know, and in the Bible do say in the end that your enemies will conspire against you. So, but who would want her dead the most? I don't know. I don't even know if it was, if her dying was a part of the plan. I've never actually openly said her dying was a part of the plan because I don't know that for sure. You know, it could have been, you know, something could have happened. An accident could have happened later on. That's the reason why I never wanted to jump in and just fly off the handle and be all over the place and dive off the board. And I time and look at every little details and try to put these events together and actually see a picture, because I was Kenneka before, and I'm like, a lot of this stuff, I mean, come on, like a lot of this stuff is really not that difficult, like I think like we make it seem, you know, but sometimes we just too smart for our own good, you know, and God actually talk about those who, you know, consider and stuff like that, you know, sometimes we just too smart for our own good, you know, and but I just, you know, I don't know, just taking the time to actually go through everything, I'm starting to actually see a picture, and it makes so much sense. And I'm seeing what happened to her that night, you know, but, you know, and not in all its fullness, but I believe, like I said, he's giving it to us in fragments, you know, and I thank God for that, at least. So, and, you know, it's exciting to get a new revelation, and it's exciting to tarry and wait for it. I love you too, military science. They already had it planned out. Yes, Caroline. I waffle, Malika. Don't mind me. I appreciate you too. Now, you know that. I had to step away for a second. This hurts just to snatch door off a kitchen cabinet. Oh, Nubian. Yeah, it do hurt. It definitely hurt. The VLs. I didn't get your question. Open minds. This was definitely premeditated or wrong place at right time. Yep, Black Jews. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. Forever blessed. Facts. Sam said, yep, wrong one, wrong time. That's right. Military science. Do you know anything about autopsy you can share, Malika? I want to share that when I actually, you know, myself. But I haven't done it yet. But I will get to it. I'm taking steps with everything military. I just can't overload my mind because I'm not that smart for real. Like, it's the glory of God when he just shines something, like when he illuminates something in front of me. I just know it's him because I'm not that smart to try to put all this stuff together like this. For real. For real. Happened in levels. Yes, some premeditated while others. Yes, I think so too, Fred. And I think that's why he wants us to dissect the information, Fred. I absolutely have to agree with you on that. I think that the premeditated part was probably just the rape, was probably to just rape her. We're gonna plan whatever, because they call Kenneka sexy face, and a lot of dudes liked Kenneka, and I know a lot of people want to prostitute Kenneka was this, that, and the other. But if I could take you guys' mind too, Mike said out his own mouth in his statement, why did he have to add that in? Think about it. He said that Kenneka was not that type of girl. He said that she was not a turn-up chick. She was not that type of girl. She was not a sleep-around girl. So before I believe some rumors out in the streets, I'd rather believe a nigga who was probably trying to hit it and keeping it real. Or who had hit it. You know what I'm saying? And probably had to go through some stuff to hit it. So I'd rather take his word for it. I just don't believe that she was loose like that. I believe she was a get moneyer, but I don't believe she was getting money for her selling her body. I don't believe she would have had to mix the two. Some people have to mix the two. Some people can just get money and have a body. They don't have to use their body to get money. You see what I'm saying? They can get niggas and get money, but they don't have to mix the two. I think Kenneka was more like me growing up. I didn't have to sell my body for money. I got money and I had a body that just attracted people. You see what I'm saying? So we have to just be like, just really think about this stuff and be smart when, just use common sense. The girl didn't have to sell her body. She was bad. Niggas was probably just giving her money just, for her to be the trophy and to be around them. I'm just saying things like that happen. You don't, some girls do have to go that route because they press, they thirsty. They don't know no other way to get money. Everybody not like that. Period. So I just don't see Kenneka being a prostitute. Like, she already was getting money, period. Does anybody find it strange they showed us pictures of her in that freezer? Never in history have we ever been shown a deceased person in the crime scene. Yes, I found it strange too. I definitely found that strange. I even found it so strange where I had to look that stuff up and see, was it legal? I'm like, dang, I have never even, me myself personally, I've never even read like witness statements and stuff. I didn't know that they could be shared with the public, the deceased pictures, none of that stuff. Like, I'm like, is this stuff legal? Like, what if I was a witness that wanted to roll over on them? What if I was a witness that wanted to say, yup, I saw X, Y, and Z go on in that room? That was going to be made public too? I was just like, dang, like, I guess, it is legal when they're being, subpoenaed to hand over their information or asked to. I guess it is. But I felt the same way. Like, wow. I don't know. That's why I really would like to get me a law team or some people that's just behind the scenes looking, not necessarily no law experts, but just people that's looking into it. So we can get out our eyes on the legal aspects of what they did. In this case, no footprints at the bottom of the freezer. She was alive in there. I believe so too, Tasha. That's why I ended the live there, because I'm actually going to continue with another part. I actually believe she was locked in there alive, and I didn't share that with y'all yet because I believe it's something that I'm missing prior to them locking her in there. Okay, I believe for some reason, I believe I'm missing something. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, and they put her, she walked in the kitchen, they threw her in there. No, if I felt like that, I would have just ended it saying, we know they was following her, freezer, and that was that. I don't believe it just happened that way. I believe we still missing something. Okay. But I do believe, and I've always believed, and if you guys go back to Malika's world, I've always said that she was locked in there alive. And I said that somebody came in there and finished her off. And until I actually get a different revelation or see something different, then I'm just going to stick with that. And I believe, yeah, the security came in there and finished her off. I believe he probably tried to rape her. Kenneka whooped his ass, because at that point, she was probably on the lane. She was awakened. You know, that stuff would have knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, she was probably already sobered up a little bit. I believe the security came in there, tried to do something to her, or probably even who knows what he tried to do. And I believe she kicked his ass, you know, and that's probably how she ended up dead. You know, I've said this from the very beginning, and I'm gonna stand on it until I see something different. If you guys can, you know, recall, I've never said that the guys actually murdered her. I've always said they set her up for what cause or why I really didn't know until I got to looking into motives and things like that. Felt like it was an intentional type of let's murder her thing. But I can't lean on my own understanding of stuff. I have to just, you know, wash my own feelings or understanding about stuff and just see what God reveals. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. And if I was right in the very beginning, he'll show it. He'll make it all, you know, make sense and bring some receipts with it. So me either, Malik. I don't think she was a prostitute. I think she just kept money. That's right, Catrice. She just kept money. She just kept money. And which, I mean, in this generation, girls are about their coins. Period. This generation, everybody is about their coins. And you don't necessarily have to be a prostitute to get it unless you don't know no other hustle, no other way to get it. Now, was she probably selling a little weed or some pills or whatever here and there? Probably so. And I'm not going to argue that. But like I said, I've stayed up in the beginning of this case. When I first started investigating this case, I stayed up all night reading Kenneka tweets going back to 2013. And nothing about her made me feel like she would sell her body or even think to sell her body. Like, she just is a little bit more classy than that. Yes, sissy, we in it till the wheels fall off. We're doing your thing. Our group are with you all the way. Thank you. Thank you so much for y'all support. I love y'all so much. Remember, Irene said it ain't no signal. Yeah, she said it ain't no signal. They don't even make damn sense. How she wasn't getting no signal on her phone? What the hell was she using Wi-Fi on her phone? A hotspot on her phone? How the hell was she not getting no signal? What bothers me most is why haven't we seen any progress from law enforcement when we all have produced enough evidence, yet they could release crime photos, but no effort made sense. Yeah, that's what really kills me too. I don't know. I believe as far as, you know, the family side, they probably leaving it up to the lawyer, to their attorneys and everything. And nobody is really putting their foot in their back. And it could be a case of nobody really understand what the hell went on that night. Nobody can really figure it out. Like, and I'm starting to feel that way. I'm wondering if they just couldn't really figure the shit out, you know, because they did make it real confusing with the mixture of gangs that they saying that was there, dressing like somebody else, mixing the town. Like they made this stuff really confusing. But I don't know. I really don't know. I just know if I was myself, I'd just be on their necks, like on their necks, you know. But I can't say she not doing it because I don't really, you know, follow what she do, so I don't know. Kenneka dressed very well. Her hair always is on there. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to point out to you guys too. When I showed you guys this photo of her. Let me go back and let me show you guys that photo too of the so-called Kenneka in the bathroom. This is another reason why I didn't believe that at all, because we all know that Kenneka could dress. Okay, and especially for a birthday party, and if she was expecting, let's just say she was messing around with Mike. If she was expecting Mike, whether she was expecting him or not at that room, Kenneka just can dress. She can dress. She know how to put her stuff together. Now I want you guys to look at this picture of the chick over here to the left. The jacket don't even match the pants. Like the jacket is a lighter tone than the pants. The jacket look like it's too small. Y'all, please look at that jacket. You can look at the jacket and tell the jacket is too small. Let me see if I even got the screen up for y'all. Hold on. Can y'all see the picture I'm showing? Let me refresh my page. Okay, hold on. Y'all, I don't think y'all can see the picture I'm trying to show. You can see it. Military science. Drop me a one if you can see the picture. Okay, if you can see the picture, you can tell her jacket is too small. Look at the jacket; it's too little. Look at around the arm part, the elbow part. You see how it's tight right there? That jacket that she had on, somebody lent her that jacket. Somebody lent her that jacket. It's probably the same jacket of the same girl you see over here on the right hand side. You see what I'm saying? That jacket was too small for her. You don't see it? Hold on. I don't know why it ain't showing. Okay, hold on. You guys got to see this. Y'all have to see this jacket. Drop me a one if y'all can see it. Okay, y'all see the jacket? Okay. Can't y'all tell that the jacket is too small? It's too small. Like somebody lent her that jacket. It's too tight. Look at around her elbow, not her elbow. Yeah, around her elbow. You see how it's real tight right there? Can't you tell that the jacket is way too small for her? It might be the same jacket that we see the other girl in the other picture. See that other picture right there with the same, it looked like that's the same jacket. They just sharing a jacket. This jacket is way too tight for her. It looked like, you see, she got her hand up. It looked like if she was to actually close her hand, the jacket would barely be able to fit her. The jacket is too small. Kanika would never dress like this. Okay, the jacket of the jacket don't even really match the tone of the pants. The jacket is lighter than the jeans. Can y'all actually see Kanika wearing something like this to a party? And not only that, taking pictures of being on Snapchat with her pocket hanging out. Have anybody seen one picture of Kanika and she is out of place in any way? And I mean, y'all see her tag hanging out? Have y'all ever seen her pockets hanging out? Have y'all ever seen any picture? Show me one of Kanika and she ain't put together from head to toe. Especially talking about at a party where the whole hood is gonna be at. You never saw her in this lab. You sure didn't. You sure didn't. You didn't. I'm believing too that when Bree said they had two girls, they was keeping count of how many girls that showed up. And then Ty came on later on and he said all three of them. Chief, all three of them. He said chief. He responded to his phone. He looked at his phone. He got a text message and he looked at the lab and said all three of them. And then as soon as he said all three of them, he shined his light on this one right here. I mean his phone on this one right here. As soon as he said all three of them, he showed her. You guys follow me? He showed her when he said all three of them. So I began to look like, oh, okay, there go one. Where the other ones? And, you know, I ended up, of course, finding the other ones. Okay, but yeah, this one right here looks very close to Kanika because I actually believe that this is Victoria, and I showed you guys everybody in the hood, everybody on Christiana, Anna Street, where Kanika grew up at, said that Victoria and Kanika look alike, dress alike. They said she even sound like Kanika. You see what I'm saying? So that's something to just kind of, you know, pay attention to. Like, dang, was that Victoria? Victoria Diamond? Okay, but that just don't look like Kanika. I cannot see her being even in a photo, Snapchat or something, and not tucking her dang on pockets in. Okay, and not to mention this photo or this lab was taken after she was already in the freezer because they wanted this to actually look like how she was found. But where they messed up at is this don't look like the way she looked when we seen her walking in the halls prior to her being found in the freezer. Y'all say she walked this hall on her way to the freezer, right? So how come she don't have her pockets hanging out as she walk in the hall, but in the freezer she do? See what I'm saying? So these is stuff that was created after the fact, but inserted in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's a trip, but yeah, I don't believe that's Kanika at all, at all. You know, and like I said, the main reason why I don't feel like it's Kanika is because of what the hell she got on. And when you actually see photos of Kanika that night, or you actually see what she looked like that night, she looked like she was actually put together, and what she had on, you know, was actually coming together. It was gonna look cute. But this right here is tacky, it's sloppy, and it's not Kanika. Simple as day. Simple as day. My kids is off the hook right now, y'all. So I'm gonna get ready to end this live. You guys, I need you guys to like and share my videos. Like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe. I never really say that, but at this point, we need to get this message out. We need to shed light, you know, and God is telling me it's time for my light to shine. Okay, so guys, we need to get these videos out. So I want you guys to share these videos, you know, make sure y'all like these videos. To all my new ranchers, welcome. Help me keep the enemy away, because we're going to get deeper off into this stuff, okay? This is just the beginning for us right now. We on a whole different level, exposing the cover-ups and exposing what actually went down, okay? We didn't already went through the why, and we looked at all these different individuals, these different sets and gangs, looking to their life. Now we actually getting ready to go into the nitty-gritty, you know, the situation. What exactly went down that night? You know, who's all responsible for what went down that night. All right. So I need some soldiers on my team. I need some soldiers, some real soldiers. Melissa Black Jew, I know y'all got me, girl. Oh my God. Okay, y'all, but I'm gonna end this live. I'm gonna come back on because I want to do a separate live when I'm actually presenting the fasting schedule and everything. And so I'm gonna end that and do that separately, maybe in like an hour or two, so you guys can have that video and all the material and stuff that I have for y'all on there. But we are ready to come into our universal fast starting July 31st. So get ready for that, y'all. Get ready. That's gonna be huge. That is going to be huge. Okay, so look out for this next live. So I'm gonna bring y'all some details for our fast. All right, I'm getting ready to get up out of here. Bye, open minds. I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. We need soldiers, not cowards. I know that's right. God needs soldiers. I know that's right. Black Jew. Okay. And Fred, shoot me an email, buddy. All right, you guys. I gotta go. I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys later on. Okay. All right. I'm out.